one goal, education and health. But the ways to get there is different, and it's the same as politics. So political tolerance is you belong to party A, I belong to party B. We are not enemies. We just disagree on certain policies and issues, and that's all. And so accepting each other's views and tolerating them is plainly political tolerance.
Okay, so let's look at the direct application of political tolerance, especially for us as Ghanaians as we get ready to go into the elections. What are the practical things or the practical activities or things that we do that first of all shows political intolerance? Because some people may not even be aware that that is what they are doing. But can you tell us some of the things that people do or activities people engage in that is politically intolerant, first of all?
Yeah, to begin with, in our constitution, it recognizes the need for tolerance, because with intolerance, it brings us back. There is a lot of disunity, there is a lot of violence, both physical, verbal, as you name it. And Article 3, Clause 1 says that Parliament shall have no power to establish a one-party state. So from that onset, it means that we need to be tolerant to the diverse views.
Okay.
The same Article 3, Clause 2 also says that any person or group of persons who suppresses others or other groups' activities, lawful political activities, is generally unlawful. So being intolerant and stretching it, Article 35, Clause 9 also says, in the Constitution says that the state should inculcate into us, the people of Ghana, political tolerance. And so practical things that shows that people are intolerant. You have heard incidents of a peace march, which turned ugly, which is not supposed to be so. So it's right from the onset, it defeats the purpose of we asking for political tolerance and peace in the first place. So if you belong to a different political party, I also belong to a different political party, and we are all going on a peace walk, then I think we should have peace squared. It shouldn't be clashes of, yes, so that's one. Two, when you listen on radio, people recounting what their political parties have done and what they will do, you listen and sometimes said, oh, this person's political, if it comes to economic policies, wow. But the other political party, their educational policies is good.
Yeah.
That is it. But in the studio, this person will say this, and the person jumps at the person's neck and starts verbally abusing the other person instead of speaking to the issue.
Right.
So these are practical ways of showing that we are intolerant of one another, and that we have. You journalists, you know much more in what has happened in other countries. What political intolerance can cause. Just one word can spark fire. And you say something. Yesterday I heard something on radio. I'm not sure which network, but you were saying one political party was sharing guns to its followers and all that. And I felt it was scary. Because if you have such a vital and sensitive information, you just give it to the police.
Right.
You just don't sit on radio and then you talk about it. So when you listen to our radio, when people are even discussing issues, how they are so angry or acrimonious towards one another. It shows that it hasn't gone down well with us, that even though our views are different, we should just accept one another's views and just move on.
Okay, so clearly politicians have a role to play in ensuring the level of political tolerance in the country. Now let's come to the general voters. What exactly is the NCCE doing, for example, to ensure that people at the very grassroots, people far away from the center of town, so to say, are also able to understand the principles of political tolerance so that they can also apply it as we go towards the election? Let
me bring you back from the beginning of your statement. It's not only political parties.
Right.
Presidential candidates, parliamentary candidates, they are supporters, party sympathizers, those who have some kind of sympathy for some political. All of us must be tolerant of one another. We all have the responsibility. And it will surprise you. I just came from a tour from the Western Regional Education, and it will surprise you that the rural folks we think they don't understand are they better understand the issues than we in the cosmopolitan,
I see. And why are you saying that?
Because after you educate them, the kind of, instead of asking questions, they bring you very meaningful contributions.
Okay.
For example, one of the chiefs said, here in my town, before they are going to institute a bylaw, on the eve of voting day, they are going to close all drinking spots.
I see.
That's a bylaw for them. They are going to institute it. They are going to close every drinking spot.
And will that be the first time they are enforcing something?
That's the first time they are enforcing it.
Okay.
After we educated them.
Okay.
And then
did they give a reason why they want to do that?
Yes. They said they don't want people to drink and misbehave on voting day or at the polling station. So they want to make sure they limit or reduce misconduct as much as possible. And if you misbehave, he the chief and his elders would make sure they hand you over to the police. And the assemblyman also added his voice that when you come to him, he wouldn't mind you, because we've been told that we are going to exercise our franchise. We are just going to express our views. It's the sovereign power given to us. We are going to express it. I may express it in a different way.
Okay.
Simply put, after that, go home. When it's counting time, voting is over and they are counting, you want to see how it's done, you can come and witness it.
Oh.
And one elder said, it's not even necessary coming to the polling station. Sit at home. You see it on TV or radio.
Okay.
So they understand the issues better. And they said for them, if there is trouble, they are closer to Ivory Coast.
Yeah.
So most of them said, somebody said he was there when the Ivory Coast strife started.
Okay.
So he had to quickly run to home. He has to come home. And what he saw, he doesn't wish to see it in his community. So they are setting up, and they are coming up with their own bylaws towards the elections to help the police, and so that everything becomes peaceful.
Okay.
So they are urging their especially the youth, asking women to speak to their children, because it's the younger ones whom the political parties use. So they should speak to them and understand that we are going to select a parliamentary candidate, a parliamentarian and a president.
Yeah.
So just go, if you are legally qualified to participate, just go, exercise your franchise, and then let's live in peace.
Okay, so let's come down to the grounds. Practically speaking, I know there are several ways NCCE is engaging with the people, and one of the things you just shared with me obviously shows that you dialogue with the necessary stakeholders when you go to communities to engage with them. Apart from that avenue, what other strategies is the NCCE employing to make sure the message goes out there to the people?
The other strategy is what we are doing now: TV talk shows, radio talk shows. We also have a jingle in 7 languages on how to vote, and then on political tolerance, and then the need for peace. Then we also have IPDCs, that is inter-party dialogue committees in 216 districts. It's made up of traditional leaders, political parties, the security agencies, and other stakeholders. They are to name and shame their own political members who insult or use abusive words during their campaign, and also identify flashpoints and calm them down through arbitration even before it escalates. And we also have film shows, very short films on political tolerance and then voting. And then we also have our cinema vans currently all over showing movies. Sometimes we show movie on Kenya 208, and then we show movies on political tolerance. So we do that through posters. We also have posters. We also have flyers, stickers. So that's the outline for what we are doing.
And then maybe before we round up, people are also interested to know what exactly NCC will be doing, for example, on the election day and after the election, or your work comes to an end, immediately we'll go into voting. So tell us about some of the post-election activities NCC will be engaging to ensure that the level of tolerance is maintained?
From now until election day, our message is simple: political tolerance, peace, and then how to vote to minimize rejected ballots.
Okay.
That's one. And then two, on the day of voting itself, we are going around to monitor. We have offices all over the country, so our staffs will be deployed to all the political polling stations. So you vote, so you go to your polling station and monitor what is going on there, and then send feedback to the head office. So we are being trained to do that on election day. After elections, that is the most important thing, because after elections, after the result has been declared, if we have a situation, we pray it doesn't happen, that one says I disagree to the results, and doesn't resort to the court, then we are in trouble. So after the elections, we are out there campaigning for people to accept the election results.
Okay.
No matter how the results went, 4 years is just around the corner.
Yes.
So if you don't accept the results, if you don't agree with the results, accept it, in 4 years you change your decision.
Okay.
So we'll be doing that until the inauguration is over, and then our education still continues. So NCCE, we don't rest. We do
action throughout.
Yes.
Okay. So your final words. I know there are lots of people that watch TV3 and a lot of viewers really enjoy some of our discussions, but in parting our way, I want you to just say something to our viewers out there that will promote the level of political tolerance we enjoy in this country.
Well, I would wish that Ghanaians would understand that since independence, Ghana has not changed. Political parties come and go, but Ghana is still Ghana. And because of our political ideas and differences, friends become enemies, family members become enemies. We don't want that in Ghana. You can imagine your mother who has high blood pressure or diabetes, and there is some kind of strife and all pharmacies have been locked and he doesn't have medicine. You can imagine what you would go through. So what we have built over the years, let us build upon it. As we go to the polls, it's our sovereign power that we are going to exercise and place in the hands of one person. And let's not allow that person to influence us to turn against one another. Because that person, Ghana is bigger than that political party or that political leader. So I wish Ghanaians that during voting, all of us should go and exercise our franchise, and we should do that in oneness, in harmony, and vote on issues.
All right, Rebecca Colcraft, Senior Civic Education Officer at the National Commission of Civic Education. Let me say a very big thank you to you for civic education. I want to say a very big thank you to you for coming into our studios, and I believe your message has gone out there, and we will respond to it and make sure we work with it. Thank you very much for coming. All right, viewers, please stick and stay with us. We'll be back shortly.